I think, can you first start with that? How you were viciously attacked in the 90s for even doing this research at all?
Well, I will get to that, but I do want to just piggyback on something you just said.
Sure.
The middle ground on an issue is normally not the place you want to be on an issue of ethics or morals. It's like rape is bad, but maybe a little rape is good. I'm going to take a middle ground position on child rape. By the way, someone's going to take that clip. They're going to murder me with that clip.
I think that's what Nick Fuentes just did, actually. I think Nick Fuentes actually just took that position.
I'm being facetious, of course. My point being that when you're dealing with matters of ethics, morals, principles, you don't want to necessarily be in the middle ground because you want to have a stake. Like for me, free speech. I'm a free speech absolutist. I don't say, well, some free speech is good, but maybe we should have the government limit others. I'm not a middle grounder. I'm an extremist, pro free speech. However, on factual matters, like let's say historiography, oftentimes the middle ground is actually the best place to be, not because you want to stake out that territory, but because when you have extremes, they're both going to be a little wrong about something and a little right about something. This extreme gets this wrong and that right, and that extreme gets this wrong and that right, oftentimes purely by following the facts and the evidence. You do end up in the middle, not because you want to be a cuck or a gatekeeper or a psyop or the controlled opposition. I get that one so much. Not because you want to be that, but because of the fact that the extremes are half wrong, half right, half wrong, half right. When you take only the right parts, you end up in the middle of the extremes. So that middle ground that you were talking about, Andrew, yeah, that's where I find myself, not because I want to be and not because the ADL is paying me to be in the middle ground. And I'm as I hear so many times from so many of the far rightists, Cole's just trying to stake out a middle ground so that we don't find out the real truth. It's got nothing to do with that. You follow the evidence wherever the evidence takes you. If it is the middle ground or if it is one of the extremes, either way, you simply follow the evidence. So I wanted to address that. Now, getting back to what you said, what you were leading into there. One thing I've become very aware of about my cultists, you guys know who you are. A couple of you are probably watching this right now. They have taken the fact that I did encounter some trouble being in the 1990s. I encountered three things. I want to be specific about them because you'll see on Twitter or X every day, David Cole's life was ruined. My life was not ruined. I've lived in Beverly Hills my entire life. I mean, I spent a couple of years elsewhere, lived by the beach a little bit of time, lived a little south of Beverly Hills. The point is, I've always lived openly. I did not have to go into hiding. In late 91, I was punched in the nose by a guy named Irv Rubin, who ran a group called the Jewish Defense League. Irv Rubin was a brute.
He punched you in the nose?
Yeah. I was being profiled by the CBS TV show 48 Hours. It was one of the hour-long primetime news shows. And they and I conspired to get me to hold a speech at UCLA because they knew it would bring out a big crowd. Now, I'm part of this. I'm not the victim here. I helped organize this thing with Judy Bernstein, the producer of 48 Hours. We worked together on this. Nobody's victimizing me at all. I planned this thing where I would have a student group, an official student group, sponsor me. And I'd come on the outdoor stage, big outdoor auditorium at UCLA, and we'd have a big crowd of angry people. I was part of that. However, a guy named Irv Rubin, who ran this organization called the Jewish Defense League, that was known for beating people up, the Jewish Defense League.
Whoa. There were some tough Jews out there. I've never met these guys.
Okay, why don't you Google Irv Rubin? The man is an ape. The man was like 6'5" and
a 6'5" Jew,
and looked like a golem. He was made of mud. He was He was a monster. He was scary. He was unafraid of fighting anyone. He would go into any crowd or on any talk show and he would just beat people up. This guy was a monster. Yes, there are bear Jews, to put
Yeah,
it in
there's Bill
Catholic
Goldberg,
terms.
Mike
That
Katz.
bear
Yeah.
juice.
Bear Jews.
Irv
Oh,
Rubin, Irv Rubin and one of his thugs
that was
are
excellent.
there at this event that I organized. Remember, I'm not the victim here. Me and 48 Hours, me and CBS News, we created this event specifically to get newsworthy material. Irv Rubin and one of his thugs, a guy named Earl Krugel, not as tall, shorter guy, but still very scrappy.
Very
Earl
Jewy.
Krugel comes on stage. I'm talking on stage like, and the Holocaust event in 1945. And Earl Krugel jumps on the stage, pops me in the nose. Now, it didn't break. Yeah, that's Irv Rubin right
Yeah,
there.
he looks really Jewy.
He's very Jewy, but it's hard to see him, the size of him, unless you can see him in perspective.
Oh,
with
he's
somebody else.
Canadian. That makes sense.
Very tall guy. I get popped in the nose. It doesn't break. It doesn't bleed. In fact, I felt invincible.
Wow.
I was like, well, holy crap. Can't hurt me. I was so not harmed by it that the first thing I did after I left the event, I went to see this girl I was dating at the time, who was a very fitness active kind of girl. And I said, hey, I just got popped in the nose. I'm a man. This is my bar mitzvah. Today I am a man. And so it was not in any way oppressive to me. I got popped in. I was 21. You should get popped in the nose at least once.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
It's a
absolutely.
rite of passage.
Absolutely.
We
I mean,
agree
I
on that.
Absolutely.
I went to an 85% black high school and I never got touched once.
Were you in
Nobody ever-
California?
LA. Yeah.
What high school?
Hamilton. Alexander
Oh, I went to Culver.
Oh!
There you
Yeah,
go.
well, I went to Palms Junior High and then Hamilton High School in the early
Yeah,
80s, early 90s.
we beat the shit out of Hamilton in football. I just got to tell you that.
The
Just want to
funniest
relive
thing-
my glory days.
The funniest thing about Hamilton is everybody always thought we'd have good athletes because we had so many black people. And
No.
for some odd reason, we didn't. We did not have good athletes.
Now Hamilton was pretty good in the. I played my last year was '97. Hamilton was pretty good, but we were better. But we had the more athletic blacks.
You were just bad.
Well, to be fair, you talk about the 90s. Now, that's the point that Hamilton had become the musical theater magnet school.
Yeah,
It's also when Mexicans had chased a lot of the blacks out.
and Mexicans aren't good at football. Wrong football.
No. They can clean the field real
Oh
well.
my God.
They can leap the Senor, every field is nice and clean for you.
This is why you got punched in the nose, David. Man, you're gonna pinata your ass for that, man.
My gardener reads
Oh my
my
God,
column.
here we go.
No, this is true. My gardener, Juan, reads my column, and he'll, every time I see him, like when he's outside, he said, oh, you're so funny, you call me a bean. It is hilarious. I love being called a bean.